Remember that the eyes are a small and specific area of the face. So all brushes for the eyes are smaller and are used for very specific application. A flat eyeshadow brush is useful as an applicator. It helps to pick up and dispense a good amount of product, and it's great to use when you need to apply a concentrated amount of product to a specific area, a highlighter or a glitter for example. It's rarely, if ever, used for blending. This is a flat eyeshadow brush, and it's a flat brush. Again, it picks up product quite heavily and applies it also heavily. You cannot really use these kind of brushes for blending, particularly on eyeshadows, because they will leave lines. And again, common sense, with a flat brush, do not try and attempt to pick up a product using the toe. You need to use the flat of the brush to pick up a product. Never pick it up using the toe of the brush. This will misshapen your brush completely. Also with application, use the flat part of the brush where you have the product and layer it on, pat it on to apply. This method is used normally when you want a heavier application of a product, and that goes with all flat brushes, whether it's for eyes or for the face. You will see that I'm patting on the color versus sweeping it along the length of the eyelid. This patting method is way more effective in depositing a color. Using a flat brush, gently pat on the color in quick and precise dabs as you work your way along the eyelid for an even and opaque application. Remember that the eyelids are thin-skinned, curved and textured, so dragging a product on the lids in a single stroke will make the application uneven, leaving spots of folded bare skin without product. Flat brushes help to place colors in specific and intended areas, while blending brushes bring colors seamlessly together. The toe of a flat brush may be used to get color into the crease or to define such areas. It can also be used to apply an eyeshadow along the bottom lash line. A round eyeshadow brush is ideal for use when you need to apply a small amount of product to the eye and creates a soft, diffused look. It's ideal for blending, and it's typically used for eye makeup looks that need blending, like the smoky eye. This fluffy head works as a blender and eliminates all harsh lines normally created by applicator brushes. This is a round eyeshadow brush. Now these are the brushes that you use for blending off the harsh lines that you normally create with flat eyeshadow brushes. The flat eyeshadow brushes simply apply the product. These rounded eyeshadow brushes are the ones that you use for blending off the product, or you can also use them to start with a soft diffused application anyway. you notice, this is perfect for taking off any harsh edges. Harsh edges are normally visible when eyeshadows are placed next to each other using flat eyeshadow brushes. With practice, of course, you will learn how to minimize the appearance of these edges, but this is where the fluffy brush comes to the rescue. It is typically used to diffuse the edges or blend colors together for a softened effect. There is nothing prettier than well-blended eyeshadows or colors. With the right blending brush, you'll be able to blend not just two colors, but as many colors as you choose to apply in an eye makeup. Use the brush in small, round strokes with a very light hand to diffuse the colors over the intended area. These brushes are also fantastic for a sheer application. This brush is used to blend off and soften liners or pencils to create the soft smoky effect around the upper and lower lash lines. You'll find that the head of these brushes are slightly firmer and stubbier than other blending brushes to enable blending in very small areas around the eye. The toe is normally rounded and blunt. I'm just going to show you how to use the pencil brush or the smudger brush. Well, as you can see, it's a very fine pointed tip. It's slightly blunt. This is ideal, and it's also rounded. So it's ideal for picking up product from your eye line and bringing it down and dispersing it softly. So it's ideal for smoky eyes. And now there's a trick to using this. As you can see, there's a small curve along the point. You need to use that curve to smudge the color under your eye or even on top of the eye as well. Look up, I'm showing you from the bottom. Never use the point directly. That could be actually intimidating for your customer as well, and it's going to be without any purpose. Use the curve of the point to pick the product from your eye line and disperse it softly along the upper or lower lash lines. Encourage your client or model to blink her eyes, as holding them open while you work with the pencil brush so close to the eyes will induce tears, and that will not serve your purpose. Blinking will not hinder your makeup application, contrary to popular belief. Waiting or stopping for a few seconds would be a better way than having to fix a teared up eye makeup. If you notice, you'll find color along the sides of the point. That's how you need to use this brush. Never use it directly like this, because it doesn't make any difference to your makeup other than upset your customer. Remember that the eyeball is curved, so you cannot use this brush to sweep a color on in a single long stroke. The movement has to be small, precise, firm, and not hard in back and forth strokes. This will enable the dispersion of the kajal or a liner or eyeshadow in the intended smoky or smudged manner. This is the angled brush. Made from artificial hair, the firm angled brush is ideal for drawing a winged eyeliner, and it also can do double duty for filling in an eyebrow powder. It can also be used to precisely apply an eyeshadow to the lash line. This is an angled brush and it has many uses. Right now you could also use this to pick up eyeshadow and place it in very specific places close to the eye area. This is a stiff synthetic bristled brush, so remember that blending will not be possible with this brush. To use the brush, always use the angled toe and not the flat of the brush. Dip the end into the desired product and use. As mentioned before, it is ideal for lining the eyes and also for filling the brows with brow powders or creams. I'm about to use the same brush that I used earlier for a very specific eyeshadow application. Now I'm going to switch it around and use it to fill in the eyebrows with the brow powder. Make sure that you use the slant to fill in the color, because that will help you keep the color precise and within the limits of your eyebrows. And drag along the shape using the angle to fill in the powder. Never use this unless you need to this way, up, because what you'll do is actually you'll separate the hair and there's no way in which you can get the color into the eyebrows as well. So always use the angle for what it's meant to be used for. And work in the direction of the growth of the hair. To use this brush effectively, use smaller strokes and be patient and precise. The angle of the brush is perfect to lengthen both a liner or the brows. To fill the color, take small dips of the product and cover small areas. Do not sweep the color along the eyebrows in a single stroke. An eyeliner brush has thin, long, pointed bristles that are not too firm and not too soft to enable drawing an eyeliner or different shapes with precision. I prefer to have at least two of these brushes, one with a longer pointed tip and one with a shorter tip to help me create different shapes. Well, I mentioned earlier that the angle brush has several uses. I can also use it as a liner brush. So I'm going to dip it in a pot of liner. And use the angle of the brush to create the wing that you want. And you can go elaborate or you can keep it simple. Using the top angle of the brush, create a wing of your choice. Then switch the brush over and fill in. Angular eye brushes are normally quite stubby, so they're not ideal for single long strokes. Even with an eyeliner, keep the strokes of application short and precise, filling as you work your way along the lash line. Keep turning the brush to use the angle to get into the corners of the eye or the outer edge of the eye. The long angle is used to create shapes and wings. Now the thing about an eyeliner brush is how to pick up the product. A lot of people again approach a product directly with the point, but you actually don't use the point. The point is only used when you want to absolutely draw the tip. Even then, the side of the brush is where the greater help comes from. The side of the brush determines the length of your wing. The point only helps to fill in specific gaps that you may have left out. So let me show you how to pick up the product using a liner brush. Go into the pot and never approach it directly with the point. Instead, swipe the length of the brush so you get the entire side of the brush colored. So if you notice, this is actually a swipe of the entire side, and then you literally pick up the tip.
A typical eyeliner brush can be used to sweep a color in long strokes as the bristles are longer, finer, and even more flexible than an angular brush. The fine point of the eyeliner brush makes it possible to apply the product into the very corner of the eye and also create really fine or pointed wingtips, or to paint on several other delicate shapes.
This is a lash and eyebrow comb brush. This is a combination of a mini comb and a brush. The brush is used for grooming unruly eyebrows and to diffuse harshly filled brow powders. The comb may also be used to smooth eyebrows or remove excess mascara from the lashes and to separate them. This brush is a combination of a lash comb and a brow brush. So you can use the brush side of this brush to actually groom your eyebrows, or even take out any excess powder that might be in your brows and soften the look, so to speak. That's what I'm doing here. I'm using the brush end of this brush to take off any excess powder that I may have gotten into her eyebrows, and also kind of groom the brows. Whereas you'll see that this comb on the other side has a curve and it fits perfectly into the lash line. And this is great for cleaning out any excess mascara that you may have got on. So any clumpy mascara is, going to come off with this. All you need to do is just work the curve into the lash line and pick off any excess product. Close your eyes. You can do the same for the upper lashes as well. Just make sure that you work the comb into the curve and gently ease any excess off. It's a great way of separating your lashes as well. So like I said before, the fan brush has several uses as well. So apart from just dusting powder on and off before and after eye makeup, you'll find that this has a very good use for very specific placement of products like highlighters. And because of the way it's shaped, it can go very, very specifically onto the cheekbone to apply a highlighter.
Always use the fanned out curve of the brush to apply a product. The flat part of the fan brush hardly ever comes into use.
A spoolie brush looks like a mascara brush, and it's normally used to comb out unruly brows and separate clumpy eyelashes. But if you're planning to use them for both those purposes, I recommend buying two. Lip brushes are normally synthetic hair brushes and have small flat heads. They are used to pick up and apply a product in an even layer across the lips. A lip brush is simply great for putting on enough product from your lipstick and layering it across the lips in an even application. Also, I find that lip brushes are more precise, so if you want to reach corners such as the outer corners of your lips, I find that a lip brush is way more easy to use than using a lipstick, which could smudge and go outside of the line of your lips. Also, when you put a lip pencil on like that, it's nice to use a lip brush first to kind of soften the line. So when the lipstick wears off, it's not a sharp line that's left behind. So once you put the lip pencil on, you can use the lip brush. Again, use the flat of the lip brush to blend the lip pencil. And when you're reaching for the corners into the mouth, use the point. I'll show that to you in a lipstick application as well. Use the flat to pick up the product. As you can see, the sides or the flat sides of the brush are now colored. Work your way into the corner of your lips. Use the sides of the brushes, I'm talking about the flat sides of the brushes, to line the lips as and when you need to. And use the flat to apply the color.
The lips are also curved and the skin quite lined or textured. So small strokes to apply a lipstick are always recommended to be able to evenly apply the product and also fill in the lines. Use the toe of the lip brush to get color into the inner corners of the lips or to fill the cupid's bow with precision.